Welcome back to Trash Panda Off-Road. Well, the Trash Panda is all done, so let's take a look at what we did to put those Toyota axles under it. Quick reminder, in case you forgot, the Trash Panda is the Geo Tracker that started this whole channel and started this whole collection. It is a 95 tin top tracker with the 8-valve engine in it, automatic transmission. It does have transfer case gears in it. The Toyota axles we bought have 529s in them. It's open in the front and it's got a spool in the rear. So I had this job done by Brian Downing from Downing Fabrication. He's one of the guys that's kind of local to me. He's about an hour and a half away from my place. But he runs the Suzuki Samurai at King of Hammers and also has been doing a lot of hoopty cross with it lately. So guys, give him a follow. He has a YouTube channel and an Instagram. Now that I have the Toyota axles under there with the YJ springs, it sits pretty tall. So we're going to take that body lift out of it. It is running the 35s. Well, 35s just like it was on IFS. We'll probably bump that up eventually to like a 37 or 38. But we're definitely taking that body lift out. I learned running Rubicon last year. Rocks and body lifts don't go well together. So what we did up here in the front, YJ springs, but we took a used set of YJ springs that I had and I didn't like how they sat, so we actually cannibalized them and added a leaf. We cut the nose section off of a leaf of a used pack and stuck it right in here, because if you have YJs, a lot of times they'll bend right here. So we stuck that leaf in there to go all the way out here to help add a little bit more strength. And it does make it ride a little tougher, I'd imagine, but I don't have any basis of comparison. So put the spring hangers up in the front, built them right off the bumper that Track Kick Off-Road and I put that bumper on. It's all done across the front and down below, and so we went ahead and just built hangers right off of that. So then they gonna run the Geo Tracker steering box still. It does actually run out of box, so the turning radius really got bad, but it's still good, just not as good as it was before. I'm gonna probably go IFS box eventually, but not right now. Running Bilstein shocks with limit straps, because we are gonna run, for now at least, that is the stock Suzuki front drive line. So we're running that for now, which is why we needed to have limit straps on it so we don't pop that thing out. Eventually we'll go to slip yoke eliminators and better drive lines. The other thing that always has to be done, you got to notch this frame here, otherwise your leaf springs will collide with it. So that's been done. And then the rear hangers right there, right off the frame. That's oh, steering. It's got high steer. Quick modification that Brian did was, in order to get everything to work out how it was, because this is all Toyota stuff that we modified, there's a sleeve and a slight bend here, and then he built this little pad so that if it does for some reason start to rotate, it's going to hit that pad. Also, he built another pad off the back of the plates for the U-bolts, and that's where we're using as our bump stops. Because we are using the factory front drive line, and in the rear we actually took a 4-door drive line and cut it down. But what we did was we dropped the transfer case just a smidgen, 1 inch, so as that would help with the drive line angles for now. And it's not something that was set up permanently, it still bolts in just like before, so it won't be a big deal when we do go to the correct drive lines to put that back up and raise that belly back up again. While I'm under here, the rear perches, moved them out a little bit, tied them into the frame mounts. We stayed with the width that was on the Toyota axles for stability, but we did cut them off and change the angle so as that we can do a better job with drive lines. Trying to give you guys as much of this as I can because there isn't a whole lot of this kind of stuff out there on Geo Trackers. A lot of samurai stuff. One of the things I forgot was we're using where the strut mount was. Brian built nice little brackets up here so that we can run the shock right there in the same spot. So the wheelbase is now 90 inches, so it's about 3 inches or so pushed forward, inch or so back, like the way it is. I didn't want it stretched way out. It's a trail rig. It's mostly trails, some rocks. I like it being little. So still have some things I have to cut and trim up. Now I gotta clean all this stuff here up. That was just stuff we had to cut off because it didn't need to be there anymore. There's the mounts for the rear shocks. And they come down off the axles down there. Oh, hey, look at that. Forgot to paint that. See? Always something. And then made these boxes that were adjustable so as that we could figure out where the ride height was going to be and how long of a shackle we needed. And then Brian took care of that, made us a nice shackle. He also had to get the exhaust out of the way. And then, because we had some time, because he also helped me do the motor issues we had a head gasket issue. Turned out not to be a head gasket issue. Turned out to be a busted head, a corroded head. Had sprung a leak inside of it. But anyways, since we had some time waiting on that, I had this bumper that I picked up somewhere for like $100. So it's a swing out. We modified it to hold the 35. He built the high lift rack for it, high lift mount for it to be incorporated into this rack. So I think this is off like the CJ5 or CJ7s or something, but I thought it'd be cool and it'll help when I got the big dogs in the back. At least now there's some room for some other junk. So who knows, I may never use it, I don't know, but I got it and it's set up right, and that's what we're gonna go with for now. So I think that's a fairly decent overview. I'll show you guys here how we mounted that. 3 mounts to the frame, and then it's actually bolted on, so I can change it or take it off, or if I roll this one I can keep it. I don't know, we'll see. So next thing we got to do, gonna have to flush everything because we got the new head on there. That's all cleaned up, but there's still crap in the radiator and stuff. And I hope to have this thing up in the woods in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Obviously, there's all kinds of X90, Geo Tracker. Someday there'll be stretch Suzuki Samurai stuff. But subscribe to the channel. Put your comments down below if you have questions. And follow me on Instagram at TrashPandaOffRoad, and also check out Brian's stuff. I think it's Ultra 4 Suzuki and Brian and Downing Fabrication. I think those are his. I posted them earlier in the video, so go back, copy them down, go hunt them down.